He a building, you know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the Etoft21Sports Show for September 24th. How is everyone doing? My name is Eric. I'm the man behind Etoft21Sports. Absolutely loaded episode for you today. My girl from out west, Lady D, is coming on. Her and I are going to look back at week 3. Plus, we're going to share what bets we are making for week 4. But before we get into all that, Gino sent in his DRF horse racing bet of the day. Let's see what Gino has cooking for us.
Saturday is a huge day at Santa Anita. It's the first ever running of the California Crown. Big races all throughout the day. There are 5 graded stakes races and all graded stakes pick 4 that ends the day. I'm going to take a look at the big one. This is going to go as race number 9. This is the California Crown. We're still a few days out, don't have the odds or everything set, but this is going to go as Saturday, race number 9. We're looking at the daily racing form past performances. It's a really evenly matched group. You have 3 horses from Baffert, Newgate, National Treasure, and Muth. All of them will take some money. Senor Buscador is a deep closer who's won some big races. He won the Saudi Cup earlier this year, and he was second in the Pegasus World Cup. So a good group. It's only a field of 7, and a couple of them might not even run, but the top 5 or so are all really solid. I'm going to go to Subsanador. This is a horse who did a lot of his running earlier on in his career in Argentina. He's a grade 1 winner, group 1 winner, and he's a horse who came over here to the U.S. with a lot of buzz, big reputation, but when he was off in his training, he was backed up a little bit. So his first start in the U.S., the San Antonio, he was just okay. It was his second start a couple months later, after he'd been around for a while, after he'd been training, after he was in better shape. He was much better. In the Santa Anita Handicap, he ran second that day. He then changed barns, and it seems like they really figured him out in the Islin at Monmouth Park. He's coming off a career best effort, but that was back on August the 17th, so he's had plenty of time to recover from that one. Subsanador, I'm not exactly sure what the price will be on him at the moment because there will be 3 other Bafferts, but because of those other horses, you're going to get some value on Subsanador in here. That's the play for me in the California Crown. That's going to go as race number 9 on Saturday at Santa Anita. I will have a bunch of previews for Saturday, all sorts of different promotions to let everybody know about the wagers that are going on, about the betting contests, about the stuff that you can do on track. But most importantly, we're going to have our analysis of the races on YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube, that's what G Said Podcast. Good luck, Eric. Good luck, everyone, this week.
Make sure you give my boy Gino a follow at It's Me Gino B. I'm on his podcast every single week talking NBA, college basketball, college football, NFL, you name it. Now, let's welcome my girl from out west, Lady D, to the show. Lady D, how you doing today, my friend?
What's up, Eric? It's been quite a while. I've been to your show.
It's been a minute. No, it's been a minute.
Yes, it
You know, you're a busy person, and I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come on and talk. My boy Bobby, the biggest Michigan State homer in the world, MSU over Ohio State Saturday. I wish that I would do a backflip if that happened. Unfortunately, I am not in Circa. I took the Bengals last night. Got through the first couple weeks, but the Bengals didn't. The lesson I learned is I'm never having the Bengals in the game again. Last year, I got all the way to that Monday night game where the Bengals were playing the Jaguars. Jaguars were in control. Lawrence got hurt.
Yeah.
And then he went down, and then boom. I was like, and then after last night, I am never involving the Bengals again. They're just never, ever, ever again.
That's how I feel with the Jaguars.
Oh, God. Eric, you know, I am betting Oklahoma State. I'm a huge Oklahoma State homer. Guys, keep the comments coming. I will pull them up. But what's up with you? How's your betting world and everything you have going on, my friend?
I've been here and there. I've been more focused on NFL and college football. I can't be doing MLB. MLB has been inconsistent this season. So I just like to tear myself and stop betting baseball and just wait until the good times of college football and NFL. So that's what I've been doing. I've been pretty hot in college football and even in football. So
I've been vice versa. I feel with college football, all I'm doing is just pushing money in and getting money. I'm just pushing money back and forth.
yeah. Because
NFL.
there's so many games you got to bet, and I'm trying to learn how to minimize all my bets. And it's
Mhm.
hard to do that because I like to bet more than one bet. I like to do like 10. So I have to bet by time starts of the games and then see what happens in those 3 or 4 games that I like and hope they win. And then that's when I go with the next batch for the afternoon. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get 4 or 5 picks for that batch of that time. So it's very, very busy for me
And,
Saturdays.
and so you got to remember too, also you're betting on college kids. Like I bet Louisiana versus Tulane. And
Oh,
I mean, pick six against, kick return against. So that's 14 non-offensive points scored. Louisiana dropped 2 interceptions. Like it's the joy of betting on 19-year-old kids. I much rather bet
yeah.
on grown adults betting, and that is what we're doing
It's
here.
fun though. It's
Um,
fun.
takeaway, like looking back at last week, what is kind of
uh,
your takeaway of the NFL?
oh my God. Listen, I have so much to talk about because there's 3 games that I want to talk about from last week. It's the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. As you know, I'm a big ASU fan, and Jaden had transferred from ASU to go to LSU, and I've been following Jaden. So it's good to see how Jaden has actually met and connected with the teams leading the Commanders 2-1. In the beginning, in his college, when he transferred from ASU to LSU, I was like, oh my God, he's just completely gonna get hammered in this conference. You know how big the guys are in this
Yeah.
conference, and little ass Daniel is throwing the ball. And I'm like, they are gonna fucking hammer his ass to the ground. But he like really took that LSU team and went with it. So after I've been seeing how he did with LSU, I'm like, you know what? I can't believe he went to the Commanders, and he had went in with the Commanders and started with being a 2-1 season to the start of the season. So I really love how Daniels had connected with the team. I can't wait to see how they do week 4 as well. So I've been keeping check on Daniels and stuff. So and my second one is Justin Fields. You know, I'm a big Bears
Yeah.
fan, and I'm like devastated how Caleb Williams have been playing and has not been connecting with our offense or our defense on the Bears. I was like, what the hell is happening with the Bears? And now now Justin Field over here leading the freaking Steelers to a 3-0 season. He like it's just like a turnaround, but it's not Justin fault. Justin asked for them to give him the players that he needed. And they did, and the Bears didn't give him the players that he needed. He didn't get the offense and the defense that he needed to have a superb season in the Bears. Like what, 3 years? So yeah, Steelers gave Fields the opportunities and that strength and team to like move Pittsburgh to being 3-0. He's been playing terrific with the Steelers. What do you think about that as well?
I love Justin Fields. Like, if I was the Bears, as crazy as it would sound, I would have drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. because we've seen when you get a top flight wide receiver in there, how much it just elevates the offense. I thought Fields,
Yeah.
I was a big Caleb Williams guy, and you can kind of see, like, right now when you watch him play, he looks like a pitcher with his
Yeah,
feet
he's
lined up.
superb. I mean, like it's just like it wasn't a big. I was like doubting him. They just should just put the free. I knew he was gonna be a dud for our Bears team, and like me being optimistic, I'm like, oh yes, let's give Caleb Williams a try and whatever. But the way he entered this whole protocol, being all like he didn't want to play with us or anything like that. And I think that really went into the thing into the season being like, you know what, let me half ass. I was getting paid. You know what I mean? I got this huge freaking check. All I have to do is throw the fucking ball.
My big takeaway is Luke Getsy has to go. Anyone that has followed me knows I am not the biggest Luke Getsy guy in the world. The offense for the Raiders has taken a huge step backwards that Getsy is coming to town. Last season, they let go of Mike Lombardi, and Bo Hardgree was named the interim OC. During that time, the Raiders averaged 23.1 points per game. Now with Getsy, 19.3. They averaged 315.1 yards per game. With Getsy, it's down to 295. Rushing yards, 109 per game, down to 51 rushing yards per game. Getsy preached he wanted a mobile quarterback. Because last year, your Bears, the team which Getsy was the OC for, ran the sixth most RPRs, and Minshew ran the fourth most RPOs. So you're thinking, look, this is going to make sense. We're going to see a lot of RPOs. The Raiders right now have run the 11th most RPOs in the league. And just for reference, he's run one more RPO than Jared Goff. And Jared Goff is not the most mobile quarterback in the world.
I don't think he is either.
They made a big switch from a man gap to a power zone blocking scheme with the success that Zamir White had in college running in the scheme and the improvements to an already top half of the offensive line. One would think it would work, but it's been a disaster. This year, through 3 games, White, 34 carries, 102 yards, 3.2 yards per carries, no touchdowns. Last year, the final 4 games, running in the power gap system, 99 yards, 21 carries a game, 99 yards a game, 4.7 average per carry. As much as everyone wants to point the finger to Adams, wants to be traded, Pierce, like, not doing a good job coaching. Getsy's the one that's messing this up for the Raiders. Raiders have the pieces to be a decent team.
They do.
Getsy is just not putting all the pieces in line. And if the Raiders have any chance of salvaging the season, they need to make a change sooner rather than later. That's my thing. I was high on this Raiders team. Like, I think they have a great defensive line. I think Zamir White's legit. I think their offensive line is good. Minshew's a capable guy. There's no reason this team shouldn't be winning 8 games, but when you
at least win some games, you know what I mean?
I mean, they should have won the first game against the Chargers. They're in position. Pierce with a chicken call, not going for it, electing to punt.
Right.
Went in, looked good against the Raiders. No, good against the Ravens, excuse me. Then last week, now I get it. Panthers had Dalton, and full transparency, I did have the Panthers plus the points and the Panthers money line in a parlay, but they just got their asses kicked. It was a show. The game wasn't even close.
I mean, week 2, they got their ass handed to them. So how the hell they just didn't roll 60 and just freaking beat their ass? I'm like,
with how much talent they have, this team should be better. And I don't know if it's a Pierce thing, if he's not rolling it in, but the Getsy hire was awful, and they definitely need to make a pivot. They have any hope of salvaging this season. Bet time. You are going to kick us off, my friend, and I absolutely
Okay.
love this one. I was actually looking at this one myself too.
Okay, so my first one is going to be the Chargers +8. That's my lean for week 4 NFL. Um, I've been keeping looks of where the market has been because I'm a more market reader. I usually know like Saturday who I like because I like to see where the line's going. There's no such thing as sharps or anything to me. I like to see where the public is going. Should I focus on where the public's taking? But basically, mostly the public is always going to go with the favorites. So I'm going to go take the Chargers plus. I'm leaning on the Chargers +8 and against the Chiefs. And you know what? I kind of thinking that the officials have been cheating for the Chiefs to get them to win. Both damn weeks, week 1, week 2, and week 3, it has been very, 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 very close games. You notice that, right? And that they were getting their ass whooped, and then they end up coming back and winning.
I'm not gonna lie. So full transparency, I had one of the biggest parlay hits I've had in my life last Sunday, and it was alive to the Rams game. So I had a money line parlay with the Giants, Panthers, Broncos, and the last leg was the Rams. And that Rams were down 14. I'm like, it's not going to hit. Then it was like, oh, it's going to hit. Like all those emotions. I had no bets in the game. I was just emotionally spent. I did not watch one down of the Falcons game, full transparency. I'm going to watch it tomorrow when I work out. But I was just so spent. And I know like people have been asking me what I thought of that call. I'll be honest, I have no idea. I have not watched the game yet. I need to watch the game, but that Rams game totally took like 4 years off of my life, and I just needed to like kind of calm down a little bit. So
I feel you because I wasn't even watching it, but I was just like looking at because I had to focus on the Sprite. I was like, oh, but I also had them on a teaser because I have been doing a little two team teaser lately because I had a feeling there was gonna be very tight games that week. So I have been doing a little teaser. I hit a teaser. I had a 260 teaser for a three teamer.
oh, nice.
I hit that, but I didn't post it out because I don't like to be posting shit that I'm not giving people advice on.
See, I'll post anything I hit. I post. I'm that guy. I don't care.
I didn't post that, so why should I be?
Anything I hit, and I mean, I'll be but in fairness, like Gino, who had the horse racing video, him and I are live every single Sunday morning. What is it? 11 a.m. Eastern, and we go through the games. And I said, I was like, look, I'm going to do a 4-teamer with this team, and I'm going to round robin it because I think 2 of the 4 teams win. So I did say it on there. I didn't post it, but I said it on one of these shows I did that I was going to do it. So my first bet, I'm going to Sunday Night Football. I took the Ravens here minus the 1.5. Lamar Jackson, 55% ATS in his career as a favorite of 3 or less. He is an insane 70% against the number. I say it every week on this. Betting is all about buying low, selling high. Teams that won by 35 points or more the previous week are 42% against the number the last 20 years. That's kind of what you're talking, fade in the public. Public's going to see, oh, the Bills just beat the Jags 47-10. They're way better than the Ravens, who are 1-2, barely beating the Cowboys. So there's value in my eyes on the Ravens. Bills are overvalued. Everyone is going to say, like I was saying, how the Bills are 3-0. They're getting points. But teams in week 4 that are 3-0, that are dogs, 45% no, sorry, 35% against the number. When they're road dogs, it drops all the way down to 25% against the number. Ravens are still a run-first team. Bills are allowing 116 yards per game to opposing teams on the running game. This new scheme, the Bills it's a run-first team. The Ravens are only allowing 50 yards per game on the ground to opposing offenses. I think this Ravens defense is elite against the run. I think the Bills are going to have a hard time moving the ball. And when you look at the linebackers that the Bills have, they have nobody with speed. They have no one with the foot speed that is going to be able to keep up with Lamar when he looks to scramble. Allen has struggled historically versus the Raiders. I think the Bills will have a hard time moving the ball on the ground against the Ravens. I think the Ravens will be able to run in the Bills. I think the Bills are overvalued, and you're giving me Lamar Jackson at under 3 points. I already bet it. Give me the Ravens.
I like the Ravens too. I'll fuck with you with that one too. You made some great points with that.
I mean, it's Lamar. Anything under 3 is just such a money. Like 70% against the number.
I agree. Yep.
70% against the number is absolutely insane.
I'm fucking with it. I'm gonna put it in right now before I go to 2.5.
Next bet, and you are going to the Big Apple for a little Thursday night football. Talk to me.
I'm gonna take the Giants at +5.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. You know, Dallas Cowboys have not been looking terrific lately. What are they like? What? 1-2?
1-2.
1-2. 1-1 probably on the road. Well, 1-2 on the road, right? Because I think
they lost. What they do week 1 they destroyed the
I forgot who they.
And then week 2 they got destroyed by the Saints, and then they lost. So they are 1-2, correct?
Okay, so 1-2 lost 2 on the spread away, and then going to New York. When Giants are look really good week 3. So let's see how we're gonna keep it close with the spread on +5.5. Hopefully it'll go to 6-7 because all these spreads decides to go and
the public will come in, it'll draw money.
Yeah.
Cowboys, and there's certain teams like the Cowboys, Packers, and the 49ers are starting to get in this world too.
You see, me, I don't like to bet earlier in the week, but these are my leans of what I'm looking into and what I have been looking at the lines and how the lines been fluctuating.
This will probably get up. This will probably get up to 6, maybe even 7. Cowboys are just kind of a team that the general public, like you're talking about, likes to bet.
Yes,
because of name brand recognition. They're one of the most popular teams. So they've
been playing like ass, though.
They have no offensive line, and they lost Quinn, who's coaching the Commanders now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And the defensive scheme Zimmer's trying to do is just completely weird with the pieces he has. What's the saying? He's trying to fit round pieces in a square. Round eggs in a square hole, or like whatever the saying is. But he's trying to do it just doesn't work out. Mel Kiper came on ESPN. It was all going all over social media.
Yeah.
Too high safety should be outlawed. The Cowboys are one of the few teams in the league that don't play too high safety. And their defense is just absolutely getting shredded. With the way Neighbors is playing, I absolutely love this. The Cowboys can't stop the run. I like Devin Singletary. This game is in line for a huge thing. One of my buddies had him to score a touchdown, and he was so pissed because at the end of that game against the Browns, Singletary broke one.
Yes.
And then he went down at the 1-yard line. But it was before the 2-minute warning. So my thought process is this. There's still game. They still had timeouts.
Right.
For the touchdown. If there's less than a minute, you're on the other half of the 2-minute warning. I get it. I understand it. I think it was a little premature for him to do that. I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Plus, it cost my boy a touchdown bet. My,
Uh,
my next bet is I'm going to Indy. Look, I'm doing it. Give me the Colts here plus 2.5. I say it all the time. I absolutely love Tomlin as a dog, but I fade him when he's a favorite. He's 47.2% ATS as a favorite. When we look at him as a road favorite, it dips down to 46%. First month of the season as a favorite, he is 35% against the number. When we looked at teams that start 3-0 ATS, you mentioned it before, general perception. If I'm a general bettor and I look and I say, oh, the Steelers are 3-0 covering, they'll probably cover again. You'll look to bet them. Teams that are 3-0 ATS in week 4, 38% against the number. Small home favorites to start the season the last 15 years are 56% against the number. Pitt's defense is elite on the front. But the Colts have one of the best offensive lines in the league, and I think they're going to be able to win the point of attack. Last week, I was on the Colts on the show, game about -1.5. I bet against your Bears. I am sorry. And I said the Colts needed to run more and control the clock more. The Colts, what was it, 19 minutes, 43 seconds. That's how much they average time of possession. Last week, got up to 24 minutes. They were using Taylor more. They were looking to run him more. Taylor, for his career, averages over 4 yards per carry against the Steelers. I know the Steelers have graded out well against the run, but when you really take a look back, Bijan got his against them. Bijan looked good against them. But then you have games against the Chargers and the Broncos, who are not really elite level running teams. I think the Colts are elite level. I think the Colts are going to be able to move the ball. Now, look, I love Justin Fields, but I love Justin Fields as a dog with how he plays, how he can throw the ball down the field.
Definitely.
Plays. I don't want a player like Justin Fields as a favorite, someone with high variance that can fumble, turn the ball over. The way to attack the Colts team is in the passing game. Steelers' passing game is averaging under 160 yards per game. I think they're going to struggle to move the ball. I think the Colts figured out some stuff last week, needing to use Taylor more in the running game. I get the advantages in the trenches. I have trends telling me to take the Colts, so I'm going to take the Colts here. I got them at +2.
Loving it. Loving it.
So you are going out west. Now, before you say this game, have you ever been to a Cardinals game?
I have not.
You have not?
I have not been to a Cardinals game yet, and I've been here for 12 years.
You know what? No shame, because full transparency, I live in the Chicagoland area, and I don't live in Chicago. I live in the northern suburbs.
Okay.
Getting
What part?
Northern, up like far. I live by Lake Forest.
Okay. I lived in Naperville for like 3 years.
Okay.
So
Well, you're like far west. Far west. I'm far north. And getting to the city just sucks.
It does.
Literally sucks. I get offered Bears tickets all the time, and I never go just because it's such a pain in the ass to get down there.
But I loved it. It was just such an experience. I was always going down there, but I was staying out there. I didn't go home. I was staying at the hotels out there. So
I mean, it's just a pain in the ass to get down there. And then even getting to Wrigley. For me to get to Wrigley, I got to drive down to the easiest way for me to get to Wrigley is I have to drive down to Northwestern, to the Northwestern Hospital, park by the L, take that L to a different L, make the switch, and then I'm there. And that's too
much work.
Too much effort. And then there's goddamn construction going through the city. So it takes me 2 hours if I want to go to the White Sox game. That's why, I'll be honest, it's easier for me to go up to Milwaukee. So I go to Brewers games all the time. I go to Bucks games all the time. It's easier for me to go up there. It's just such a pain in the ass to get down to Soldier Field. David, who's on the show a lot, who I do a baseball show with, he actually was at the Cards game this past weekend. So I thought I'd ask you if you'd like that. The
Yeah,
stadium,
no,
the stadium looks unbelievable.
I'm gonna make my way one time there. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to a game. It's just that I have not been such a big fan of the Cardinals because I'm a big Bears fan, and you know we haven't played the Bears in a long time. So,
Yep.
like that's the only reason I would go. But they was playing the Bears, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This bet, you are going to the Commanders. Why do you like the Commanders against the Cardinals, my friend?
This is going to be a very, very, very close game, I think, because the Cardinals have been playing good as well. I think they're gonna. I know. Jaden Daniels is coming back to his territory that he started in Arizona. He played for ASU for like what 3 seasons that I remember because half the time I was drunk watching him play. but
Drunk watching him play.
when he used to play with the ASU the Sun Devils.
Yeah.
So I was always drunk, so I really wasn't even focusing on the games. But I think he's going to keep it very close with this guy, the Cardinals, with the Cardinals team. They showed out with the Bengals, so I
He threw the
believe they
ball
can
hard.
come on and show out
He
in
threw the ball.
Arizona.
He was scared. Like the first 2 games, he was scared to throw the ball.
He
And
just went.
finally, he started throwing the ball. I don't know what Kingsbury said to him, but
You got a your paycheck is gonna be deducted.
these guys like to put. Anyone likes to get paid because motivation, money is the biggest motivation. My third and final bet. I am. Oh, this is wrong. I'm gonna have to fix it.
Fix it.
I apologize.
I can't wait to see who you got.
It's not the Texans +7. I am taking the Jags.
Oh no, that's my
Seven.
trash.
What do I say every week? Buying low, selling high. Is there a team that's lower right now than the Jacksonville Jaguars? Monday Night Football losing 47-10 against the Buffalo Bills. Everyone's saying that the Jags are awful. Teams coming off a loss of 35 points or more the last 20 years. 62.3% against the number. Teams coming off a loss of 35 points or more that are dogs. 65.6% against the number. Teams coming off a loss by 35 points or more that are road dogs. 69.2% ATS. Those are all over the last 20 years, so a huge sample size. Divisional dogs, the last 20 years for the first month are 57% against the number. Teams on a 3-game losing streak, like the Jags are, 63.3% against the number in week 4. So there's some very strong trends here telling us to take the Jaguars.
Right.
I think the Jags can run on the Texans. I really do. I had a lot of questions about this Texans team coming into the season. Texans are allowing 108.7 yards per game on the ground. With Lawrence's troubles, I expect we're going to see a heavy Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby game. I have questions about the Texans' offensive line, namely the guards. And you look at Tunsil, he has struggled. He hasn't been up to his standard this season. So his offensive line really hasn't been playing that good. I think Allen, Walker, and the rest of the defensive line is going to be able to get to Stroud. Now, look, I love CJ Stroud. I was the biggest CJ Stroud homer before the draft. I was telling everyone to take him 1. I had a huge investment on him rookie of the year, and he won me a lot of money. But that was last season.
Yeah.
This season, he really hasn't been what people have been expecting. Only a 68% completion percentage, averaging 236 yards per game, and a 2-to-1 TD to INT ratio. That is not good. Look, I know this is a disgusting number. It's a disgusting bet.
I don't want.
Inflate this number. I kid you not. This number was 3 before
I can't do it because I got
before this
burned.
before the game started. It was 3. The number was 3. Excuse me, 3.5 on Monday. Monday when everyone woke up Monday after the Texans lost, it was 3.5. They played that game, and that game just went off the wheels. It went off the wheels fast, but it moved all the way to 7. That is way too big of a move.
That's
I
crazy.
think that they're going to be able to make Stroud uncomfortable. The trends are telling me to take the Jags. I think the Jags are going to be able to run the ball. I'm getting a divisional dog. I'm going to take the Jags here +7, my friend.
Okay.
I'm going to do it.
I will stay away from that one though, for real, because I'm still devastated by the loss because I was officially my pick was for that day for Monday night was with the Bills and Commander. And I'm like, you know what, too many people, blah, blah, blah. And then I end up going opposite my fucking play to Jags.
I had the
+5. I'm
Jags.
so mad.
I had the Jags +5.5. And look, they
I was
sometimes
like,
though,
get out of here. Come on.
but I mean, sometimes in betting though, like we all like when we bet a game, we kind of play it out. Okay, we see this happening. Here's the advantages. We play the game out in our head. We look at the stats, the numbers,
Right.
trends, offensive line, defensive line, all blah 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 blah, all that stuff. And we come up with a script in our head, and we look at our power rankings, and then we find value. With how that game started, what the Jags had to do running the ball, they couldn't do, and it was just over like that.
Because they had many opportunities where they was getting down the field, being first goal, and they end up
I
not
couldn't do anything. They
completing any passes. It's just ridiculous. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, oh no. I'm like,
and
that's a loss.
I was talking to one of my friends, and like him and I hate Urban Meyer, and like we bash Urban Meyer. He texted me middle of the game, and he goes, "I don't think that Urban Meyer ruined Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence ruined Urban Meyer." And I was like, interesting, because like Lawrence hasn't looked at. We need to remember when he came out of college, he was the can't miss prospect. Everyone said he was all that in a bag of chips, and he has looked brutal this year. And I don't know if I have no idea. Like last year, everything was in the middle of the field. Kirk, Ingram in the middle of the field. Now he's pushing the ball downfield to Brian Thompson Jr. Gabe Davis has been a zero factor since he's got there. Ingram's hurt now. I don't know. I just think this is one of those things where everyone's looking at him. No one's going to be betting him. There's probably going to be me and 5 other people in America that are sitting on the Jaguars +7, and I'm gladly
Let's see if it goes to 8.
going to do it. It's going to be on the corner TV. It's going to be one of those things where like they'll be driving for the last second, and there'll be a last second field goal.
And then end up covering the spread.
Lady D, I would like to thank you for coming on, taking time out of your schedule to talk a little NFL betting. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, and if they want to join your betting service, how they contact you about that?
Well, I'm mostly on Instagram. You can follow me on my page at Betting and Hills. I've been posting my NFL games and my college football games on there. Also on TikTok, I have been posting my games on TikTok as well. So if go DM me on TikTok or on my Instagram. I'm always very active on both of my little social media. I haven't been doing too much Twitter because I can't. Twitter is just getting just too much.
I love Twitter. I find out my news about Twitter. I find out conspiracy theories. I love me Twitter.
All the walking beds and all these females. I was just like, whatever. I have to tune it all out because it just like I get so irked. I'm like, what fuck
Mhm.
It's people giving all these people like some high races, like they're fucking been in a game for years and they haven't even been in a fucking game. They just journalisms for freaking sports. And they end
Yeah.
up becoming sports betting analysts. I'm like, how does that transfer over? I'm not hating or anything, but it's just like you need to
Unfortunately,
be realistic.
that's where it is with sports betting become more and more mainstream, and these like companies like ESPN having one,
It is
they
just
have to talk about it.
crazy.
So you get these talking heads that really don't know anything about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's a couple people that, I trust, but
Yeah.
the majority of them absolutely no, not that
I
much.
mean, like I trust some people as well, like even like their resources and how they get their how they bet and how they research their things, but it's mostly all everybody's always on player props. I'm
Mhm.
not such a big fan of player props. I'm more like
I like if there's something I like I'll do it. Yeah,
like I've been doing touchdowns anytime touchdowns, but that's the only thing you're gonna catch me doing is probably doing anytime touchdown.
I mean,
And
I'll
hope
tell
somebody hits.
you, Travis Etienne, for those that tailed me on that, we had Travis Etienne over 49 and a half
What
yards.
the fuck is happening with Mr. Kelsey being MIA?
Travis, or
Travis.
I mean, well, so you got to be in tip top shape when you play football. Once you get 29, you can't take the shortcuts you did when
You
you
think
did.
he should have just retired like his
You got to
brother
be.
did?
I mean, like he's at the U.S. Open drinking in the stands. He's probably was partying with her all the time. And don't get me wrong, if I was dating Taylor Swift, I would be partying with her too. I'd be going to her concerts. I'd be going to the U.S. Open. I would be doing all that shit. But
I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna come work hungover.
but I mean, like he's not putting in the work. That's why he's been awful.
Yeah,
Like that's like you got to put in the work, especially when you're 35. Once you get up
he's
there,
been
you can't
so sloppy.
you can't take you can't take those shortcuts. You got to be able to put in the work, and you got to be able to do everything. And I mean, he's just not doing it. I think the bigger thing is what's up with Mark Andrews. I think Mark Andrews has to be hurt. Like he's not playing as much. When he is playing, he's staying in and he's helping blocking. Really weird what's going on with these tight ends.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just
I mean, I do some fantasy stuff, and the amount of tight end questions I get that come in on a Saturday morning, that's not excuse me, Sunday morning.
so. Do you play them or do you just like sit them down when you do your fantasy?
I mean, like, I'll be honest, you just got to do what you can do. Like,
Like, okay, let me see who's going to
well, like
get
that's what
enough
you gotta do.
points.
One league I have Kittle, and
Okay, I
he's
love
obviously
Kittle
hurt.
though.
So I picked up Dalton Schultz. I'm grinding out with Dalton Schultz until he gets back. Another one I have Evan Ingram obviously got hurt, but I picked up Brock Bowers late. So I'm just sitting on Brock Bowers. And I like Bowers a lot. I have Bowers in another one. So those are my main leagues. And then I'm in a guillotine league. Have you ever done a guillotine league before?
No, I haven't.
That is the funnest thing I've done in a while. 18 teams, and if you have the lowest point total of the week, you're eliminated. And your
Oh,
whole team goes on the free agent market. So in that one, I went tight end insanely late, and I have Pat Fryermuth. So I'm waiting for a tight end to become free, and then I'll look to add one. But yeah, tight ends, it's just like I don't know. It's just a bad position. Like to me, like this year, I would want Bowers because he's basically the third option. And if what's his face does get traded, Devontae Adams, he's going to be the only game in town. He's going to be Travis Kelsey Jr. So, Lady D, I'd like to thank you for coming on, talking
Eric,
some
thank
betting.
you.
Always a pleasure. Look forward to having you on again. I'd like to thank
Definitely.
everyone.
I always make time for you, Eric. You know that.
I
You know,
appreciate it, my
I
friend.
don't be going so
I
in
I
depth
appre-
with
I
my games. I
I
just, I just like taking my damn games and like, here, take it or follow it or fade me. It's not gonna hurt my feelings, y'all. Okay, if y'all fade these picks, it's not gonna hurt my feelings.
make sure you give my girl Lady D a follow. All her socials, if you're watching on YouTube, I linked them in the description. So you can find Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all there. Make sure to turn in next week. My boy Dave Weaver from FanDuel TV will be here. Him and I will be talking some week 5. Until then, let's make some money and let's cash some tickets. We'll talk soon, my friend.